No. There we go. I can't have it go perfectly, ever. That's how it is. So, here we are. And, did that work, Steve? Did that work? Yeah! Okay, so now, if, anything goes wrong in the channel, it's on you. So, welcome, everybody. Hi, Louise. Wow. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Festive Friday Files. I'm very excited to share some really interesting information with you guys. Some of it I actually had sort of on deck for the last one, but I was like, and I just elected not to because I kind of wanted to see how some of it would play out. So, anything that I have found as far as news items, I will have links for in the chat, not in the chat, in the description after the show. And I was going to say I was going to add a link to the next show so that I would be responsible and set it up. But that seems like they're in the series together. I'm going to resolve, I'm going to do it. I had a nice little nap today. Actually, that's not on like my list. But I had a lovely, like, over an hour long nap, and I had cats. Like, I was snuggled up on my side, and I had a cat right here against my chest and a cat right against my back, which was absolutely lovely up until the moment when I wanted to get out of bed. And, like, I could have disturbed them, but I didn't want to do that. Like, you know, they're so soft and they're being so sweet and cuddly. And I'm just like, okay. So, like, I had to kind of sit up and then pull my hair out and then flip it over and then sort of sit up more and then scoot back from under the covers and scoot back more and push the covers back, but not so much that I would disturb them. And then pull my knees up to my chest so that I could get my feet out from under the covers and lift my feet out over one cat so that, like, I am in line with the pillow and slide off the bed that way. And then, of course, lean back over and tuck the covers back around the cats so it still feels like somebody's there and that they're snuggling something. So, yeah. So that was fun. But it was a good nap. And so I'm feeling pretty alert. So I'm thinking after this, I should have plenty of energy. Also, I'm a little on the hyper side for something that I will not explain because I don't want to jinx myself. But there's something coming up that I will know of in a few days that I'm more excited about than is actually reasonable given the nature of this particular achievement, let's say. But hopefully I will be able to share it with you on the next Friday Files, which will not be officially festive, but hey, you know, it's always party time around here. So, without further ado, let's begin. Does the scrolling? The scrolling works! Okay, so New Mexico has actually offered public childcare for a little while, but recently they made it part of their constitution. And providing childcare for everybody is so important for working families, which is these days everybody. I would ideally like to see that there would be compensation for families who choose not to use public childcare. That you kind of like supports like we have for parents who homeschool. I think that should be an option, and I think we should support that, although I think there should be incentives to participate in the community. So, yeah, New Mexico is sort of looking at how we can support families in a better way, and hopefully other states will look at how they're able to make it work and follow their example. So this one, again, will be one that has an article I went through a couple of them because this is another one that I was sitting on. When I first heard about it, they were offering it, and then there was a subsequent one when they actually like made it part of their state constitution, which is kind of freaking cool, I think. So I chose an article that I liked to share with you. All right, so this is another one that I was sitting on. Lab-grown blood. So I heard about the creation of lab-grown blood, and another one that is probably not going to end up making it in because it's been a little while at this point, and it keeps like getting like just down below, is their lab-grown meat has been approved for human consumption. Although there's still some debate on how safe it is and whether it is an adequate, not substitute for meat exactly, but how much it tastes like real meat, animal killing meat, and what the ethics of that are, and whether plant-based substitutes are still actually better for the planet, those sorts of things, because it takes a lot of, energy and resources to grow. Anyway, so side note there, I ended up kind of throwing that sucker in here anyway. But maybe I'll just add it. Maybe I'll put an art. It's not going to be here in the list, but I may go ahead and just add that as like another number. And I'll have the articles that I've looked at for that in the description afterwards. So that one's it's not as fully positive. There's a lot of discussion going on about it, which, makes it interesting. And the discussion seems to be mostly healthy. So that's positive. So anyway, lab-grown blood I whacked my finger on my desk. Lab-grown blood transfusions. Lab-grown blood used in transfusions. So lab-grown blood, again, like lab-grown meat, is very resource heavy. So it's not going to be anytime soon just an alternative to blood donations. So people, if you have the opportunity and are able to donate blood, please do so. And or plasma. Both of those things are very much needed. But there are some people whose blood types or they have certain conditions that make it very difficult for them to find blood that they can use. And so the lab-grown blood can be tweaked with to provide exactly what they need. And it seems to be going safely. Like, it's been tested, and now they're actually just using it. I think this is past trials. I don't remember from the article whether it said these were trials or was past trials, and this was into just general use. But that's just really exciting because I know that when you're not in the majority, it can be really stressful and frustrating, and it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not like anybody's fault, but it just sucks. And up until now, there really hasn't been much that you can do about it. And now there is. And that's advances in healthcare, I think I get extra excited about. So, yeah. It's really cool. Steve, you're a dork. All right. Scrolling. I need to be able to see that. Yes, number 3. So I haven't put a lot in here about the new year since technically we're not actually in the new year yet. So I want to save that stuff. But so on the schedule that we're on what I call semester blocks, which is there are 8 classes per year, but each teacher typically teaches 3 per semester. So you do 3 and a planning period semester 1, and then you get 3 brand new classes and a planning period semester 2. So your planning period may not be the same time of day. And you often have, like, I'm an English teacher, so most of what I do is, English-ish related. So I have some differences. I am still doing the online facilitation. That's going to be a different time of day. And I'm doing another dual enrollment course. This one's different, though, because we don't actually have a professor coming to the school building. It will be fully online. So both of those two will be online facilitation. So I'm not entirely sure. The dual enrollment is psychology. I'm not entirely sure if I'll have students who have to be present in class on certain days, like I did for dual enrollment English, or not. So that will be a learning opportunity for me as well. But in addition, I have an honest to goodness English class, and I'm really, really looking forward to teaching this class. This will be the first time that I've taught English 2 as world literature. So I'm a little nervous because because of the course style change. I've also made some changes to the curriculum, and I haven't done it before. So I'm excited. I'm a little nervous, but I'm really, really looking forward to getting the chance to teach again. I will probably still also be covering classes um, during my facilitation periods, because that's one of the things they had me do last semester, and chances are pretty good that we're going to be short subs again this semester. I think we should really increase our sub pay. That's a whole nother thing, and that is a less than positive thing to share. But something else that is coming up that I'll just go ahead, since it's related, is that I may have the opportunity to get together with our Not a Union president and the superintendent to talk about some of the issues that would be good for staff morale and retention. And that, I think, would be one of them. That's not going to be the top one, but it would be one of them. So we'll see. That's one of the things that hopefully I'll get to talk about more in a later Friday Files. So, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll suck. But just the fact that I'm looking forward to it, that is absolutely a positive. In my social media feeds, there are a lot of teachers who are not particularly looking forward to coming back, who have been working on getting grades done, or doing lesson planning, or looking for resources, or all those kinds of teachery stuff over break. And I really haven't done very much of that. I've done some thinking about the semester, some basic some fun type planning, because I want to, not because I feel pressed to. I haven't felt pressured about anything school related, as far as like lessons or grading or anything like that over the break. And I am looking forward to it. I'm not the least bit ambivalent about returning, and I'm not, as some have said, I'm not dreading it. And I am disappointed to hear that there are teachers who are going back, who are dreading going back to the classroom. But on the other hand, I'm really glad not to be one of them. Hey, Kyron, good to see you. All right, scrolling again. Here we go. No, why does it jump like that? All right, so we did that one. Semester. Ah, yes. This is another. Was that? This is another one that I don't know. I think this has been reported on in early December, but I didn't find out about it until relatively recently. So we don't have cold fusion as a way to generate energy. But apparently they have been able to engineer some sort of breakthrough that does use a clean nuclear reaction to generate energy. And while it is incredibly resource intensive, you do come out with more energy than you started with. And I can't really talk about it at length because I don't really understand it at all. But I understand the idea of cold fusion is that when you are essentially, like with fission, you end up with less matter, and the matter gets transformed into energy. And fission involves the splitting of the particles, and fusion involves the putting them together. So I understand that. That's about the extent of it. Just sort of remembering from way back in my science classes. And I haven't done more than read the reports about the new developments. So I haven't refreshed on, what exactly fusion is. So what it seems to be saying is, because it is so resource intensive, kind of like with the blood and the lab grown meat, because it's so resource intensive, we're not at the point where we can just do it for everything. But thinking back to the previous show where I talked about the fact that solar powered cars are not now coming off the factory belt in the Netherlands, like, developing the process is what you can't, it doesn't happen all at once, so this is an important step on the way to having clean, safe, widely available electrical energy. And how it will play out is going to be very interesting. So there's a lot of potential energy there. There's a lot of, and there's also just a lot of potential for what we can accomplish with that. But then, of course, that comes down to how we decide to use it, and how we choose to allocate our resources. It all comes back down to that. So pros and cons. I'm going to peek back at the chat. I see things moving. Steve, my dear, I hate to tell you this, but Spider-Man 2 is fiction. So, yeah, exactly, Kyron. That's a good way of it's a great way of putting it. They generated a profit in energy, and that right there, that word, that's what's given me pause. Not the fact that it took so much effort to make a comparatively small profit. The fact that there is movement forward, that's great. The opportunity for profit and how that gets exploited and how that actually helps lots of people or not, that's my quibble. So we'll see. Kane, I'm sure that is real in your heart. Tis what tis. So, all right, scrolling again. I'm not going through this fast on purpose, I promise. Although there is something that I want to get to, so I'm kind of just zooming a little bit. I have something in my mind that maybe we'll see. All right. So, story time. My parents. I love my parents. I love my family, and that is something that should be on every Friday Files. I am so grateful that I have a family and in-laws, found family, chosen family, extended family that I get along with. I think I can't think of any biological or legal relatives that I don't look forward to seeing on some level. There are times, Christmas, y'all, there are so many of them. It's a lot. So, and especially just where we live. So, my husband is from this area, so he has just a lot of extended family in this area. So we had our Christmas, and then we had Christmas with his parents and his sister and her husband and their kids. And then we also had Christmas with, and we just had Thanksgiving with his dad's extended side of the family. And then we also had a Christmas get together with my best friend. And then we also had a Christmas get together with some friends here in town. And then we also went, because we forgot to get a present for his maternal grandmother when we thought there was going to be another Christmas get together with them, and there wasn't. So we went and made a special visit just to visit Nana the other day. And so it's just been a lot. So when I don't look forward to visiting family, it's just because during a holiday season like this, it's just a lot of peopling. It is a lot of peopling. But I do. I like them all. I like them all. Some of the very small ones are noisy, but they ain't no getting around that. So my parents flew out to California to visit my youngest brother. How they got all the way to the airport in Atlanta, and they live in Chattanooga, near where we do. They got all the way to the airport in Atlanta shortly before they needed to get on the plane, before my dad realized that he didn't have his driver's license. Somehow, between credit cards and Medicare and some other stuff, they were like, oh, and like the magic of TSA, like a full body scan. He had to go through like extra scanning. He was allowed to get on the plane to go out to California. Okay. So they asked me to overnight the driver's license to them. Also, as they were leaving, getting out of the neighborhood, he realized that he'd forgotten his cell phone. He was like, nope, we're running short on time. I'm just going to leave it. Mom has her cell phone. We'll just, and Billy has his. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. So I've still got his phone. It's right here. This one's mine. This one's Dad's. Stay together. I'm not going to lose his phone. So we go over to the house. We check to see the mail. That's another thing. I'll remind me. I'll make a note. Where's my pen? I have remembered another thing that I need. I just remembered it. I'll do it after 6. It'll be the bonus one. So we went over to the house, checked the mail. The mail had not been stopped. It was supposed to be stopped the day before, but it came that day. And so we got that out, put that on the kitchen table for them, and found Dad's driver's license and found Dad's phone, took them. And the next day, I went to the post office and put it in an overnight envelope to go to California. And it didn't. This was Friday, December 23rd. It was supposed to show up on Saturday, the 24th. It did not show up. The thing is, they're in California until January 5th. And I'm just like, the post office is not going to lose this. But, so I was like, okay, well, it's Christmas Eve day, and things have been kind of nuts. Let's just breathe, it's going to be okay. Well, obviously it didn't get there the next day because that was Christmas, and also Sunday. You know what Sunday means? Nope. The mail does not come on Sunday. I was gonna do the quote, but you know what? Not gonna do the quote, Joe. So there was no mail on Sunday, Christmas Day. So Monday, we're like, maybe it'll show up. Does not show up Monday. So Tuesday, check back in with the post. I go to check back in with the post office. Monday, I start looking for the receipt, which has the tracking number so that I can just look up and find out where it is. No. I can't find it. There have been so many receipts. Thank you, Christmas. As well as just mail and Christmassy general stuff. No. Not an option. I watch it be right here. Chattanooga Public Library. Okay, so yeah, also pick up my books before the holiday. So yeah, purchasing gift wrap, going to the library, purchasing Christmas presents, just so much stuff, groceries, we still need to eat. So Tuesday, I call the post office. I don't know, can y'all hear the dogs? Hi, dogs. Our neighbors have dogs, and Anyway, call the post office. Hi. Last Friday, I came by and I had my dad's driver's license just sent out to California. I've looked all over. I cannot find this receipt. I am so sorry. Is there any way that you can? And I'm just like, I'm just some person calling on the phone, you know. I could be like trying to steal somebody's identity, but I think they remembered my goofball voice. So they're like, hang on. So we were able to pin down based on the time of the transaction and the amount that it was for. And they're like, okay, so it's going to California, right? Do you remember where it's going to California? I'm like, it's a town. The name is kind of like this. And they're like, yeah, that's it. And it's this much. I'm like, that's it. So they gave me the tracking number and they said, well, since I've got you on the phone, hold on for just a minute and I'll find out where exactly it is. And it was like, he's in Southern California and it was in San Francisco. So it's like right there. So I'm like, okay, thank you so much. And I get on the phone, I text mom, I'm like, it is in here. They said it, this is where it is, and this is the tracking number. And so she calls right back and says, is there anything else you can tell me? I'm like, I literally just told you everything that I know. Like, it should be there in the next day or two. And it was, and I am so, it is frustrating that, like, it was supposed, like, I paid extra. I paid a lot extra to have it delivered the next day. And it wasn't. But you know what? That's okay. They're not coming back till January 5th. So they have the driver's license. It's all good. Plenty of time. Everything's groovy. So yeah, I told the guy at the post office, I'm like, look, I am confident that y'all are doing the best that you can. The weather's been bananas, and, you know, I'm hearing about people getting stranded on the highway and dying in their cars, planes being grounded. Just thank you for being safe and, you know, doing what you can. And, you know, no, I understand. And I talked with my mom, her dad, my grandfather, was a postal carrier. She's like, nope, don't blame them. We should have the dadgum license with us. I'm like, but it all worked out. So once, and I think even before it arrived, once we knew where it was, that they knew, and we knew that they knew where it was. Like, we knew that they knew. After that phone call, we were a very knowledgeable family. So that was a little shout out to Steve. We watched a movie today, which y'all will get to find out about. So, and last of the official list, perhaps my favorite story. It's a really good story, you guys. Everyone loves pizza. It also involves social media, which not everyone loves. But in this case, I think we love it pretty well. So some of you, probably all of you, are familiar with the little spat between Greta Thornburg and some jerkwad. I don't know. I think he's some kind of prize fighter. And so it's probably here in the chat. Y'all are probably telling me right now, like 30 seconds later. Yep, Pizzagate. Can't deliver. Sure, I'm good with trusting elections to these people. Absolutely. Also, it helps that elections are not, you know, in late December. So there's that. Tate, yeah, something Tate. Anyway, dude decides, this dude bro decides that he is going to pick on Andrew Tate. Yes, the unfortunately named Andrew Tate. No relation, I am sure, to our friend Andrew. I don't know. I don't really care. Some kind of fighting guy. You know how I know that he's a fighter? Because his Wikipedia page got edited to reflect his loss to Greta Thornburg. So he's been like baiting her, trolling her, something like that for some time. And he uh, sent a tweet that said something like, I have this many fancy gas guzzling cars. They're all sports cars. And what something like, what are you going to do about it? Send me the email and I'll show you the pictures of all of my cars, because I'm like rich and I have cars. And she did what theoretically you're not supposed to, which is engage with the trolls. And what was it? It was SDE@getalife.com. And this hurt his feelings. And so he tweeted a video response apparently he's like really popular. One of the things that I'm seeing now on my Twitter feed is that he's really popular among middle schoolers. Which is like sad on so many levels. Anyway, so he tweeted a video response in which he said, like, I'm ordering this pizza and I'm not going to recycle the boxes. Well, it turns out, like, he's not in the States. And apparently he was being investigated for human trafficking. And the pizza boxes were what gave the authorities the information that he's really here in this country, and they arrested him. I'm just like, props to you, Greta Thornburg. And her reply. Yeah, I mean, we should worry for the youth. Middle schoolers are very impressionable. They really are. And on the other hand, there are plenty of middle schoolers who have reportedly been gloating about this and telling their friends, see, this is what happens when you're a jerk. So yeah, Greta Thornburg then quote tweeted his little video clip and said, this is why you should always recycle your pizza boxes. Oh, golly. So, happy endings all around. Speaking of happy endings, it's also very nice that we have family all over in the area because, like Christmas Eve day, I think we found out that we didn't have water. Might have been Friday the 23rd. So that was on top of dealing with trying to get the driver's license back to my parents. We were also dealing with the fact that we didn't have any water. So my husband called the utility company and asked if there was, a line, major pipe burst in the area. They said they didn't have anything. We made sure we checked the meter to make sure, because they're like a lot of places you have like a, this you get your bill here and you have like 2 weeks to pay it. It's like a week's turnaround. You got to pay that sucker right away. They're just like, you got to pay it really fast or they will shut your water off. So we have unfortunately learned this the hard way. No, this is not the case. We were all good. In fact, because I went and I looked and I'm like, there's no payment. And I confronted my husband about this. He said, no, actually, it turned out that we were worried last month and I like more than paid double. So we're clear. I know it's fine. I actually went and I checked, and when your water gets turned off, they turn the meter off and lock it. And there's a note there that says, this is why your water's turned off, because you ain't paid. So anyway, that's good. And we're just like, we have no idea what's going on. So I was like, that's okay. You know what? It's okay. We are planning to get together with family for Christmas. Ha ha. And, but it's okay because my parents are out of town. We'll just we'll make sure that we leave some faucets set so that once things warm up during the day, hopefully everything will be fine. And then if it freezes again, we won't have to worry about any pipes bursting, because we looked under the house and everything. He checked and looked. Nothing seems to be wrong. We just don't have any water. So, went over to my parents' house. Unfortunately, They're gone for like 2 weeks. So the house is set at 50 degrees and they turn the water heater off to save on energy. Bless their thrifty Swiss and, environmentally conscious hearts. Good for them. Not so great for us. So we turned the water heater on and cranked the thermostat up to 70. And we sit around and wait. And nothing happens in like an hour and a half. And it's getting towards lunchtime. And we're supposed to, we're kind of grody at this point because this is it's been a little bit. And we have Christmas lunch that we're supposed to get to with family. And so we call my parents out in California because by this point, it's late enough that they're up. We're like, so it's still cold, in the house and the water? And they're like, well, we have a really old system, so you can't just crank it up to 70. You have to go from 50 to 54 and let it get up there. And then take it up to 58. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we don't have time for that. So then my husband calls his parents and says, okay, so how soon are you guys leaving? Have you guys showered yet? Can we come over and shower at your house? So then we grabbed all their stuff, went back over to their house, showered, got changed, headed in. So then the next day, but my parents say, but now we're worried, what if our system isn't working? So the next day we go back and check, and it's not because we did turn the thermostat back down. The thermostat had gone up to 54. So I'm like, y'all really might want it might be time to replace that system. And they did have hot water at the time. So I'm like, okay, leave the water running just in case it freezes again and turn the thermostat back down to 50 and head out of their house. Check the mail. By the way, at that point, there was no mail. So the mail had been held. And at that point, at Christmas, when we went to my husband's parents' house, his father had left out a heat gun, which is like a blow dryer, except just heat, not a whole lot of air. Focuses on the heat. And so we used that, and by we, I mean mostly my husband. I did go out and turn the water on after he tried to warm up the pipes. I did go out and turn the water on at the main, and then we had water again. So apparently the water in the pipes froze, or maybe the pipes themselves froze, but nothing burst. So adventure, stress, frustration, things worked out, and it ended up okay. So we were all very glad about that. Yeah. So yeah, it has been a very interesting, very thorough winter break. I had planned to go I'd planned to exercise at the Y. That happened last weekend, hasn't happened since. And I'd also planned to volunteer at the library, and that just has not happened. There's just been so much little stuff like that's been that my exercise has consisted of going outside and catching Pokemon. Also because it's been absolutely ridiculously gorgeous. Climate change, on the whole, creates a lot of problems. In this area, tornadoes, many more of them than historically. And severe weather, just big changes in weather that we're seeing, worldwide. But on the other hand, it has been really nice to go for walks in the afternoon in basically this in late December. So I guess count your blessings where you can get them. So, all right. And now I will look through the chat and Yes, Caitlin, we've had that happen before. The other thing is, sometimes when the garbage truck comes through, if they are already really heavily laden and they do a 3-point turn, sometimes when they back up to turn around, they go over our main line and they break it. That's happened 2 or 3 times. We've had to repair that. So buy pit bull tie to meter. No, Goose Wheel, I wouldn't want to leave a dog just tied up. I don't think I could do that, honestly. Yeah. Yep, Caitlin, exactly. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, some temperature changes, in the temperate region, are normal. But this isn't typical, and it's not. This change that is this rapid is never healthy, ever. So speaking of individual healthcare, if know what is normal for your body, for yourself, and when things change quickly, please talk to your primary care provider. Very important. It's important for the world. It's important for us too. So know what is normal or typical for you. And when something unexpected happens or when change happens quickly, talk to your primary care provider and let them know and talk through what the causes might be. Very important to stay informed. So, because of the thing that hopefully I will get to tell you about next time, I'm going to close this out and I'm going to ask you really, really, really pretty to tell me, pretty, please, to tell me about the things that have been good in your life down in the comments so that they can be saved for whatever posterity the internet and the existence of YouTube can maintain. And I guess the existence of my channel. And I will put the links to the articles that I talked about. Plus, was there an extra article? I think it was. Was the lab grown meat? I'm going to put a note down here. Meat article. I will look up. That'll probably be up a little bit later because I'm going to try to look because there were a number of articles that I saw about that one. Like I said, there was some back and forth. I might include some discussion on that, some opinion based articles like that say, here are the problems with this, which is one of the reasons why I didn't include it previously. So, but I think overall, like I said, just the development of the technology and the resources and the research, I think it's interesting and I think it's overall a net positive. So those will be in there. I will be doing another set of Friday files, not next Friday, because that's Ask Away on Steve's channel, but the following Friday, which will be in January. Let me look here. Calendar. Hello, calendar. Friday, December 30th. That's today. 6, 7. Can I go? What's that? Nope. It doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. Oh. So my first Friday file of 2023 will be Friday the 13th of January. I'm sure everything will be just fine. Anyway, thank you all for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, a lovely weekend, and remember to care for yourself and to care for others. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye, everybody.